Books and Business, giving you strategy, systems, and speed to scale your online business.
Hey, Amber V here, and on the final lesson within this first module, which is all about how to prepare our business foundation in the Books and Business series. Today, we're going to be talking about message and positioning. Because if your message is not super clear and specific, then nobody's going to understand what the heck you do. And then you're going to wonder, why does my marketing not work and nobody's buying my stuff? It's because people may not have a clue what you do. I have a lot of clients who will go to a podcast interview and say, this is what I do, with one version of it, one story, one vantage point. But then they write a blog post and say something completely different. And then they come over here to their book, which says it differently. And then on their own podcast, they say it differently once again. And I don't know if it's because they're trying to make it interesting for them because they're the ones saying it all the time, or if they're just testing their own messaging and they're not really sure how to deliver it. I can tell you that most people have a great insecurity when it comes to how to deliver their own message, which is one of the things that I'm trying to correct in the world. But truly, we have to make sure that you are very clear on what you do and how you do it, and that becomes sticky and you say it the same way every time so that people not only hear you, but they remember it and then can articulate it to other people on your behalf with that same degree of accuracy. And that's how your message becomes sticky and goes viral and starts to spread around. But if you don't do this foundational work, you're going to be like throwing spaghetti at the wall. It's going to be different every time, and talk about the long, hard road to get what you want. We don't want that. So what we're really trying to accomplish in this foundational set of lessons here over these past several videos is making sure that you're really clear on your why, your vision. What do I really want to say? What are my core values, which is the language through which I'm communicating it? And who am I saying it to? Who's my avatar, the one person that I really want to help with this message? Once you do those exercises, and frankly, they're like 15 to 30-minute exercises a piece. So we're not talking about a lot of work here. That is going to save you so much time, money, energy, and frustration in the future if you just commit to doing this set of exercises right now. And today's is no different. Today, what I want us to do is have you pull up an open blank piece of paper, and I want you just to write freely about what is the gap you're seeing in humanity right now? What is the problem? What is it that you're trying to solve for? This should be a lot easier now that you've already done your why and your vision homework, right? So now what we want to do is write it in a complete form. And this is when I would want you up on your preacher box, and I would want you to get really kind of saucy and frustrated if you can, because your content will be stronger that way. And that's what we need for the sake of this exercise. It is time to become more controversial, more black and white, to get into people's faces. What is the change you want to see in the world, and why does that matter? Write that now. When you're done, maybe you'll have a page or two of content. What I want you to do from there is distill it down into about 3 short paragraphs, and I'm going to call this your manifesto. Your manifesto should say what your why is, what your vision is, and how you want people to get on board toward this greater vision. And so it's definitely the time where you're going to get really specific about the crisis that you're seeing. And this is the way forward. These are my beliefs. This is why it matters. Let's go. And I like to put that into a manifesto section. Now, if you want to see my manifesto section, it's on ambervilhauer.com, amberv.com for short. Go there and you'll see right there on the homepage that opening 2 rows of text. That's my manifesto section, where it's pretty in your face about the big problem that I see around connection and how that becomes the rock bed of all of the work that I do in the world. What is your manifesto? And that should be in a video, on your homepage, in a blog post. You can start to put some feelers out there around it. Out of that manifesto, I want you to come up with an elevator pitch. So this is, imagine you're standing in line at Starbucks and somebody's like, hey, so what do you do for a living? How can you say your why and your vision inside of a couple of sentences. That becomes your elevator pitch, your mission statement. It's going to be the thing that is infused with your core values that people connect with. That becomes sticky. We're not talking about you writing some sexy internet marketing headline. We don't want that. We want authentic, real communication, genuine language about what you see, why it matters, what your vision is. That's really important here. The minute that you try to edit yourself to become like cool, that's the minute you've lost the game. So we've got to say it simply, simple language that's authentic, that's genuine to what you want to see in the world. What's the change you want to see? That's when you know you've nailed it. From there, you could try to define it further by putting it into a single statement. And then if you could even put it into a few words, then you win the prize. So what we've done is we've started with an expression and we keep distilling it down into smaller and smaller bits of content. But from here on out, every time somebody asks, so what do you do? Now you need to deliver it in the same way. And don't become so rehearsed that it sounds like you're literally reading from a script. It's got to be something that, again, feels very natural and it's something that people can connect with. And that's the core messaging document that I want you to have written down in these different sizes and variations of content. This is the perfect thing to be sharing with team members moving forward and other vendors that you might hire, a strategic coach that you might hire, so that everybody is in alignment with the way that you communicate about your brand. From there, what I would recommend is come up with a one sheet of teaching points. So what are like the one-liners that you could say on different podcast interviews or on social media? For example, one of mine is elevate every experience. That's a short little phrase. It's 3 words, but that would go on my list. It's a bullet list of things that you like to say over and over again in various mediums. It could just be a couple of keywords about a story that you want to present the next time you're in a podcast interview. It could be little quotes or one-liners, teaching topics, phrases. But I want you to make a bullet list of maybe your top 10 to 15, the go-tos that now forevermore on your content for at least the next year until you create a new wave of content, right? That you can say these in the same way every time. That way they become sticky and then people can share that for you with that same degree of accuracy. From there, the third document that I think is really valuable to create is a content plan. I'm not going to spend time going into that now because there's already a video on my YouTube channel going into the 5-minute exercise to create a content plan. But essentially the high level is you have, 3 to 5 category topics at the top of the page that fits underneath the grander umbrella of what you really want to talk about. And then from there, come up with a bullet list of as many topics as you can come up with for each category. Within 5 minutes, you should be able to have about 50 of these little topics on the page. That becomes enough content for 1 year of marketing. Each of those little topics can become its own video, just like this. It can be repurposed into a blog post, an email newsletter to your community every week, and even your social media. This is an operation that I created 6-7 years ago called Leverage to Scale that allows somebody on your team to get the training to repurpose and optimize your content for you. And all you have to do is look at your content plan, pick a topic, record a video, and just remember that you're saying it in the same way that you say it in all of your different channels. So it becomes sticky, and that you're reinforcing those teaching topics and those stories, because that's when they're going to anchor in and land. That's when more people are going to feel like they know you, they trust you, they feel safe with you. They're going to move forward with you and buy your course or hire you for consulting or whatever it is. So this is a little bit more than some of the other videos that I've sent you. It's definitely more hands-on, but I really encourage you to sit down and make space to do this exercise, because again, imagine if at the end of this, you could have a year's worth of content ideas for what to do with your marketing. Imagine that moving forward, people actually understand what it is that you do. They know how to communicate about it, and your message starts to go viral. That other people start to talk about your message for you and become a brand ambassador for you. And imagine that you actually felt confident and clear on what it is the hell that you even do. That is all possible if you can just pause this video and sit down and do the exercises that I laid out for you. And if you'd ever want to have a consult call or something to go through it together, I'm really good at helping to extract out messaging and to organize it and make sure it's structured so that you and your team have confidence moving forward with your message. If you thought this was helpful, please give me a thumbs up and let me know. It really helps others to start to watch the content and share it as well. Be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel to get notified when next week's lesson drops on YouTube. And I just want you to know how much I appreciate your presence, your energy, and attention on these videos. I know they're not the 30-second clips that you could be watching, but hopefully you appreciate the substance and the depth that I go in with you. All right, guys, until the next one, just remember, no guts, no glory. Thanks so much.